Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Thiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday from 1 to 3 p.m. Central, as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. And I do appreciate your emails. If you have ideas for a show, you'd like me to do a little research for you. I love research. It's just, I'm just a nerd when it comes to that, okay? I'll go to the library and just hang out for hours. Send an email to donna@donnasedge.com. That's donna@donnasedge.com. Find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, Abundant Television, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcast, thenewscasters.com. I have everybody's favorite. I'm talking about everybody's favorite. I get all kinds of messages for you, AP. AP Steadham. He's a talk show host, handles sports. AP and Kelley, as we see it, aired here. That was telemarketing call coming in. Probably telling me, AP, that I'm at 64, okay? If I haven't paid for my college by now, I'm probably never going to pay for it. So anyway, but it is paid for. Absolutely. But AP, thank you so much for being on the show. We were talking a little bit before the show started about, I don't know, people coming and leaving teams, coaches coming and going.
Yes.
What's bringing all this stuff about?
Well, Donna, they have this transfer portal, which was implemented not too long ago. So the coaches, besides trying to coach their football team during a bowl game, they're recruiting because they have the early signing day in December, that window in December. So they're trying to manage the recruiting of the high school players, the junior college players, and then the players that are trying to leave the program, players that are transferring, trying to join the program. They're trying to look at their coaching staff. Some of the coaches are being hired, some are being fired, some are leaving on their own accord, so you have to replace them. So the head coach has to, and his staff in their program have to manage all these things between December 4th and into January. And then, Donna, on top of that, they have the next signing day is that first Wednesday in February, as always. So those are some of the prime players that are still thinking about their decisions, so they can put coaches and staffs at bay and say, just hold a second, I'm thinking, I'm still deciding. So there's those last couple of scholarships where you might hold for a 5-star, 4-star player or a quarterback that you need for the coming years. And then the other teams, they're trying to fill in their roster in February. Maybe they didn't sign enough players for their limit. So they are managing 24/7 right up to that first Wednesday in February. And then maybe you take a breath and then you're getting ready for the spring. Mm-hmm. So they're very busy, and they're probably going to have to change that calendar, Donna, to some degree, because I don't know if people can sustain the complexity of all these different things happening simultaneously.
Well, it's too many things. It's almost like, and you know this from being in the media, Christmas, my goodness, I have to allow extra time just for my business. I have to kind of stretch it just a little bit. So they really do need to work on the timing on that, because it's causing chaos.
Yeah, it sure is. And then, Donna, you have usually, and I'm going to research this in the coming days here because it's not finalized, but usually it's about double digits of players leaving a team. 15, 20 players. I don't mean like 10, like just barely over the limit. I mean 15 and 20 players leaving the roster. And then you're trying to replace them with recruits, junior college players, transfers. So it's quite a bit of management on the personnel side for all these football programs.
I would say so, because you really can't. I mean, at the first of the year, we always, make a plan, for the year. I've always got a yearly plan. Then I break it down into 90 days, then 30 days. Then I go to week and then daily. But I can't tell you how many times I've had to change midstream because something would happen. I would imagine it's hard to keep a daily planner being in that business.
Yeah, I think it is, Don. It's day by day. You have to be nimble. And Don, just to give you an idea, when I say players are transferring, I mean players that are starters on a team. And since you have this NIL converging with the transfer rule, players are saying, okay, I reached this level. Maybe I'm a second team all SEC player. Maybe I want to get the ball more as a wide receiver, more carries as a running back, more opportunities as a defensive player. They are transferring for more money. It's not because they weren't playing, Don. It's because they're looking for more money or to change the situation. So you have to consider, you're thinking, okay, we have this freshman, this sophomore, they're really coming along. They made second team all league. Next thing you know, the knock at the door, coach, I'm going to transfer. And you're surprised because everything has gone so well up to this point. But when you have that money in the equation, that's the variable that changes everybody's heart.
Yeah, I'm seeing that happening. It appears to me, this is just me on the outside looking in. You have more insight about this than I do. But from the outside looking in, it looks like maybe money should not be a variable. We just don't feel as steady as we used to be.
Right. Yeah. When you have money in the equation, Donna, anything, and I mean anything, could happen. I'll give you two classic examples. The quarterback at Ohio State, he lost one game this year as a starter. First-year starter. Had a great season, very good season. And with his first year, over 3,000 yards, a lot of touchdown passes. Lost one game at Michigan. And Michigan's playing for the national championship this week. So he ends up transferring to Syracuse, which is not a powerhouse in football. They've had their moments. He transfers to Syracuse for more money. Then you have in the SEC, you have Quinshon Judkins. He's a running back out of Ole Miss, Pike Road, Alabama. Small school, was a 3-star recruit. He blossomed at Ole Miss as a freshman. 1,500 yards rushing down. I mean, that's a huge number for anybody. Senior, 6th-year player, 3rd-year player. And then this year he was injured quite a bit. Still had 1,100 yards, 2,700 yards total so far. Scored 15 touchdowns. Plus, I think Herschel Walker was the last one to do that in his first 2 years, University of Georgia. So that's at least 30 touchdowns. I don't know what the final number is. But anyway, he is in the transfer portal. And Ole Miss just won their 11th game, Donna. First time in school history. And here you have an all SEC performer as a freshman and sophomore, which is rare in the SEC. Coach, I'm transferring.
You know what? I've had employees that would be just fabulous employees, but they would think the grass was greener on the other side. And then they would leave and maybe go to one of my competitors and find out the grass wasn't that green on the other side. Then they would want to come back. I had a problem rehiring them because I always had this thing about the trust factor. Are you going to run for another shiny new penny again?
Right. Yeah. So you mentioned the optimal color, green, as in money. Yeah, that's the color that we're discussing every day, ending in Y with college athletics. Yes, green.
But there's something about being stable and being with the same team, I would think, where you don't, I mean, everybody wants to go, everybody wants to make a nice living. But my point is sometimes it can backfire on you.
Yeah. Sometimes, Donna, they're receiving an appropriate amount of money, as you said, but maybe there's something in the locker room, maybe with the position coach, head coach. Those are some factors as well. They can enter into the equation. So that happens, certainly.
Yeah. Wow. It's a brand new world.
Oh, yes, it is. It is a new world, and everybody's adjusting and adapting. And Donna, we know the leaders that can accept the change and adapt and adjust and manage those things are the winners, all the time. Whether it was the COVID year for your football team or your athletic team, or this year, these last couple of years with the transfer portal, the name, image, and likeness, NIL, and all the shifting of personnel, you're going to have to sort it out to be successful. And you can't complain because, Donna, as I say, the toothpaste is out of the dispenser. This is the reality in college athletics.
I think so too. Do you think the pandemic maybe spearheaded some of this?
Not particularly, but I do think that you found out about coaches as managers of drastic change, and who was able to coach their team to wins and understand that, okay, we have a different world now. Because, like, for instance, in the SEC, Donna, they changed the schedule where all the game that they played 10 games, and it was all against SEC opponents, which was unique because the conference usually has 8 games against SEC opponents, and they have 4 non-conference games. But that year they scrapped everything because they wanted to keep it within the league, because that way you had the same format of approaching the COVID in your protocols. So that's why people had changed during the COVID years. So we saw who did well during that time. So yeah, it was a forerunner of adapting to change, for sure, drastic change. Yeah.
I have a friend, used to be a co-host with me, and she's in the medical world. And so she knows the things that could be happening right now. And she feels like there could be another outbreak of something else. But what everybody went through during those COVID times, I would think we're going to be able to adjust a little better if that happens again. What are your thoughts?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I mean, this is the 21st century, and we go back to the 20th century and see all the catastrophes that happened for your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents. I mean, I think they would have kind of laughed at us with all the complaining. I really do, because we remember way back, I think it was 1917 or so, they had the influenza, and it was a similar type situation where they didn't know what to do. They didn't have any of the technology or the science to try to combat and come up with a plan. And they would have said, hey, I mean, they would have literally have crawled to the hospital to have some type of vaccine or help, but we thought we were scientists, I guess, or something. You have to believe that when we were going to school, I mean, I couldn't enter the university unless I had a certain vaccine. I couldn't enter kindergarten unless I had a vaccine. There was no, it wasn't a discussion. There was no, well, AP, do you want to have the needle? Well, no, if you want to be in this school, you have to have the vaccination. So, but this turned into something that, and people have their reasoning for accepting the premise that a vaccine was the best option or it wasn't. So I'm not here to debate it, but I'm just saying, I think our grandparents, great-grandparents, parents, they would laugh at us because at least we had an option to try to solve that COVID, where in those days, what did you do? I don't know, but thousands of people died. I think nearly 1 million people died in that, and it never, it just kind of died out. That's the way it left the United States, and it just happened, and it was nothing they could do. Yeah.
You know what my grandparents would be saying? Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
they would
right.
be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they'd be chuckling and say, "Oh, really? You think it's tough, huh? Try depression. Try a couple of world wars. Try some other things that happened in my life. All in my lifetime. Wasn't like different lifetimes for each generation. It was the same couple, 2-3 generations faced all of that in their time on Earth. So yeah.
Oh, they were tougher back then. They were tougher. My granddad during the Depression bought this farm I'm on right now for $5,000. Now this is like in the 1930s. Okay.
Wow. He
set himself a goal to have it paid off in 2 years. This is when there were no jobs. So he decided to work 2 part-time jobs and work the farm at the same time. Guess what? He made his goal. This is during the Depression. He paid the $5,000 off in less than 2 years because he had drive and ambition, did not want to be in debt.
I would say this about your grandfather. Not only was he fortunate to have one job, he was fortunate to have 2 when the unemployment was way over 25%, I think, at that time. I don't know what the exact number was, but I know it had to be over 25%. People would do anything, and there was nothing. They had to revamp the whole country. So your grandfather was very fortunate and enterprising to have the 2 jobs and also work the farm and have the money, because money was scarce. You could buy land for 10 cents an acre, but who had 10 cents?
That's true. I think they were tougher. I just really do. Yeah. AP, we've got to go into a commercial break. We'll be right back in just a minute. Everybody, I love this conversation, though. We'll be right back.
Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. The Hatter Cafe and Country Inn is nestled in the northeast corner of Alabama the Beautiful in the delightful town of Mentone. We're located on top of scenic Lookout Mountain near Little River and DeSoto State Park and located only 5 minutes from shopping and restaurants. There is also a nearby community walking path and golf course. We welcome everyone through the doors, and we are committed to outstanding service for all guests. At the Hatter Cafe and Country Inn, we invite people from all walks of life to come and get away from it all, enjoy the open spaces, treetop views, fresh, clean air, and experience Southern hospitality at its finest. We look forward to hosting you. To reserve a special event, or if you would love a special getaway at the Country Inn, you can call us at 256-634-2018.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer
yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
The only place I buy my beef is Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama. Their cattle is born and raised on their ranch, grass and grain fed, and you can feel confident when you serve your family and friends because their beef is all natural and no antibiotics or hormones are added. You can buy whole beef or perhaps go in with family or friends and buy half. Their customer service is number one as they take care of the delivery to their local processor and can deliver to your home for a small added fee. They also offer herd replacement heifers. I always call Lone Tree Ranch in Collinsville, Alabama for my beef specialty recipes and cookouts, and you can too. Food shortages are increasing, so buy local by calling 256-523-6462. That's 256-523-6462.
Donna's Designs offers a line of handmade memorial, wedding, and keepsake jewelry that launched back in 1970. I'm a self-trained jewelry designer, and I will work closely with you to create unique designs you can love and treasure for years to come. Whether that be flowers that were used in a funeral arrangement or stones you found on the beach at a memorable trip, call me at 256-659-4319, and let's think of the possibilities.
At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show, where truth actually it does matter. So you can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And you can also find us at the podcast, thenewscasters.com. I have everybody's favorite talk show host right here, especially when it pertains to sports, and that's AP Steadham. Now, AP, you're syndicated as well, so you're all over the place.
Yes, Donna. Yeah, we're on about 25 plus stations, and we always place our schedule on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, and the AP and Kelley As We See It Facebook page. And we're right here on IC Radio every Friday at 4 p.m. Central. So we thank you very much, Donna and company. We thank you so much. Yeah, and we also on Spotify and some other platforms. So we try to put that on our around Thursday, maybe 1 o'clock or so. We put that broadcast so people can listen to all our episodes that we've produced. I think we're about 75 or so at the moment. You know, we started about a year and a half ago, something like that, but we have enjoyed every moment. And we thank you so much for having us on IC Radio, 4 p.m. Friday Central.
We are honored, absolutely honored to have you guys on with us. Let's talk about last week's show with AP and Kelley As We See It. What happened?
Yeah. Last week, Donna, we had so much to discuss, Donna, with the Alabama and the Rose Bowl, and then the SEC bowl games. We didn't even have a guest because I told Kelley, you're from Michigan. That's her team, Michigan. And, I went to school at the University of Alabama, and we covered the SEC. So we had so much to discuss. We barely fit in our topics that we had because we were discussing the transfer portal. We discussed that Rose Bowl game, Alabama and Michigan, which was very exciting and competitive, and went right down to the last play. They went into overtime. So, and then we discussed all the bowl games. Donna, some of the teams had a high motivation to play in those games. Missouri against Ohio State, because Missouri was trying to get that 11th win. I think the last time we won 11 was 2014, and it's only been a couple of times in our history. Ole Miss had never won 11 games, Donna. They played Penn State out of the Big Ten, and that was a great game because Penn State is in the league where they're trying to beat the two top teams. They haven't done it recently, Ohio State and Michigan. Ole Miss is in SEC trying to beat the two top teams, Alabama and Georgia. They lost it. So both teams were 10-2, similar backgrounds, trying to beat the two top teams in their conference. Ole Miss prevailed, and they had a first time ever 11-win season. And then you had teams like Georgia who lost that one game after 29 straight. They wanted to maintain that standard and go out with a big win. And they had a historical game against Florida State, who I think 20 players, Donna, opted out not to play the game for Florida State. I think it was about 20, that's incredible, right? They're transferring, opting out, preserving their NFL status, to their health.
Well, what did Kelley say about that? You and I had talked about that, about, should the coach have just forfeited the game?
I think Florida State coach, in all honesty, Donna, he said, look, it's not fair to the bowl game. It's not fair to the sponsors. It's not fair to the fans. And like I said, it was a 63-3 victory, the greatest of all time in any bowl. I think the biggest, I believe, Donna, was Alabama beat Syracuse in the Orange Bowl, like 52-53, around there, 61-6. And Syracuse might even been in favor of that game. I always was tempted to go back and look at those records and see if that was the case. But yeah, I think in all fairness, the Florida State coach said, look, we would love to play, but I couldn't convince everybody to stay. And it's not fair to our team, our university. It's not fair to you, the Orange Bowl people, who should have a competitive game. And they probably, and Donna, my thing was, and Kelley and I think we both agreed, this business of opting out to preserve your health in the NFL, let's say you're 7-2 with 3 games remaining, and you're not going to win the league title, you're not going to be in the college football playoff. Why stay around? Why wait to playing the last game and say, I'm going to opt out for the bowl game? You could have got hurt in games 10, 11, and 12. Just opt out. Just leave. And I said, look, they all call each other brother, okay? And then they have the audacity, as I said, to be on the sidelines and watching me get beat by 60 points. And you're telling me you're my brother. Well, I don't think my brother watching me get beat up and, not play the game and being selfish. And Donna, remember, all these very good players at the top, the ones that are pursuing the NFL career, a lot of them, many of them, all of them could have an insurance policy. So if you get hurt, you're still going to get millions of dollars. You can buy yourself a policy, and some universities help you buy the policy, And if you want to buy more, you're probably going to get the money from your agent. He'll assist you in getting that policy as well. So I don't buy this premise that, okay, I finished the 12th game of the year, maybe the rival game, and then I'm going to preserve my health for the NFL draft. I'm going to let my team get whipped in the playoff. I mean in the bowl game, and I don't care about my school. I don't care about my team. I don't care about the coaching staff. All I'm caring about is myself. But you keep saying we're brothers. Really? I think that's all, as they say, words and smoke puff in the air.
I think so too. And you had the key issue solved. You had it solved back in the day, and we mentioned this last week. Betty Grable, a movie star back in, that she was known for her legs.
That's right.
So she went through Lloyd's of London and had her legs insured for over $1 million.
Right. So let's say you have a policy in the United States for college athletics. I had done a story 10 years ago. There was something in conjunction with the NCAA. In football, it's the first 3 rounds. If you're projected to be drafted, Donna, you can get the insurance policy through the NCAA. In basketball, men's basketball is first round, women's basketball first round, hockey's first round, baseball's first round. And I think those are the sports where you can get the insurance policy, I believe, through the NCAA. But if you wanted a policy outside of that, you can get that particular policy plus Lloyd's of London. As you know, Don, they'll insure anything. So there's ways to hedge against any injury financially. You can do that with those insurance policies. So I don't know. I don't like when people say, "Well, I'm opting out for the draft. I'm preserving." But you could. Why don't you leave the team at the 8th game? Be gone. Go. You don't want to be around here. Yeah, go. Leave. We don't want you. You don't want to be here. We don't want you. Yeah. That's my feeling.
I think I'll call Lloyd's of London and see if they'll insure my hair, because apparently that's what I'm known for, is my hair. So I'm
sure they will. I'm sure they will, Don. Yeah.
Do that. Less than 2 minutes left in this segment. Man, it flies when I'm talking to you. So what's going on this coming weekend?
Yeah, Donna, the SEC basketball, they started the league play. So you have the 4 teams right now in the Associated Press top 25 from the SEC. Tennessee, number 5 at 11-3. Kentucky, number 6, 11-2. Number 22, Ole Miss, surprisingly, right? 13-1. They had their first loss. Tennessee put a beat down on them, 30 points on Saturday. Then number 25 is Auburn, who's on a hot streak, 7 games in a row, beating people by 15 or more. They're 12-2. And then South Carolina is 13-1. So we have some good basketball in the SEC. And of course, the women's side, LSU and South Carolina, very good teams as well. But we still have, like I said, this football, we have, coaches coming and going and hiring and firing. So there's still a lot to be said for the college football season, as always.
Absolutely. I want to say more stability there, but then I'll jump on the bandwagon. But right now, I'm just waiting. I'm doing this wait and see kind of a thing. So again, thank you so much for being on the show. It's always great to have you and Kelley as we see it right here, Football Friday at 4:00. You take care, AP, and thank you guys so much for watching. You can find AP. Go check out his Facebook page, and you'll get all the information there as well. And he's on his travels. I do keep up with you. I may not respond, but I see everything you do, AP. And thank you again for being on the show with us. And again, thank you so much for watching. You take care.
Bye-bye now.
My Towels solved a problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wind dry you. That's why I made My Towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of My Towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring spun cotton that makes My Towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all My Towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
mypillow.com